Works not just from Dynamo but also from regular USB-C. You can make it better, and this is how I improved the Shimano Di2 system. Like I said, let me connect it to my system. Nothing happens. It's gonna charge my phone. Hi, this is Nicole from Popular Custom, and in today's video I'm gonna show you how to run one of these electronic gears without these, and as a bonus, how to run it with a Dynamo or just a simple USB-C plug that is widely available. First of all, a bit of a disclaimer: whatever you see here is in no way, shape or form supported by Shimano. Whatever you see and you do it at your own risk, and this video is only for educational purposes. How did we get here? Well, way back in 2019 I wanted to build a new bike for the Concorde machine, and one of my goals was to have Di2 powered by a Dynamo for total independence. I didn't know a damn thing about electronics, and it took me years until I actually figured things out, and I have a system. I have one system actually with chargers from Dynamo, the Saviour. I think there's a card over there, and I have a whole video on it, but it took some time until I have a system, and I'm ready to show it to you now, all the details of it. Since I started building custom bikes rather than electronics, I think it's time to build a custom bike to actually fit this custom Di2 system. So this is part one of this series. This is going to be a video series, so subscribe for more details. Now it's September 2025, so I plan to have the bike for the winter season, so January, February. So let's see how it all goes. First, a bit of a background about what are electronic gears and as well what are dynamos, since I keep mentioning them. So first of all, gears. To shift gears, for the longest time you needed some kind of mechanical linkage, either a cable or linkage, to move the gears around. And nowadays that electronics have taken pretty much over large parts of our life, we have them on our bikes. And instead of like physical effort from your hands, there's an electrical motor that takes energy from a battery to shift the gears to move the derailleur around. And actually the first commercially available electronic shifting system is not Dura-Ace Di2 like the internet would let you believe, but it is actually, again, the Shimano called it Di2 way back in 2005, while Dura-Ace Di2 was released in 2009. And the system was actually core system. It was charged by a Dynamo, and now we get to Dynamo. So it was charged by one of these, as you can see in the Saviour Di2. Nowadays they are more like in the front hub. So it was charged like this, basically as the bike was running, it was generating electricity and it was powering the entire system, kind of like a modern e-bike. So there's my e-cargo bike, kind of like a modern version of what I've just been showing you, how Shimano integrates everything. Obviously no Dynamo on this one, as you can see, no Dynamo, but I mean, since it's an e-bike, those didn't really exist at the time. It has a very big battery right there, so I can switch it off from here or from the computer as well. And everything is integrated. I mean, I did it on purpose, so you can see right there. It has electronic gears, it has the assistance, and it's like a car, you know, you can switch the lights on and off. So you can see now, let me put them off, and let's see if you see. Yeah, there you go, the lights go on and off. You can shift the gears as well. Like on the other side, now it's on automatic. Let's put it on manual. And as you can see, it has, let's see if you can see, it has the Nexus hub right there. And this is pretty cool. I mean, everything is integrated. What I really liked about the system, that it had everything that you expect from a bike. I mean, because it was for city bikes, it had automatic lights, it had suspension, you could change the gears automatically, mind you. I think it would shift manually as well. Again, it was all self-contained. Obviously, e-bikes kind of do that now, but when it comes to, well, cool bikes, if I can call it this, like mountain or road bikes or gravel or touring, the system just shifts gears. And in my opinion, this can be improved significantly. Like I said, the Dynamo system already existed, and it's a shame that Shimano does not want to continue it anymore. So let's see what somebody like me can do with it. So where we are today with electronic gears, you can't get away from batteries and the fact that you have to charge them. And another disadvantage is that you need a proprietary charger. Before it was this one, now it's this one. Yeah, it takes USB-C, but again, it's proprietary. So two major limitations. You have a limited range and you have a funky charger. How can we make that better? And while I do make the words only Dynamo Di2 charger that also takes USB-C, it has one limitation. While it's connected to the system and charging, the gears don't work. Like the name suggests, it's a Saviour, it's designed to get you out of a jam, because the idea was born when I broke the radio cable on a 300 km per watt, about half. And it's, I really thought the electronic gears were a gadget, but then it hit me that it's way easier to find a charger, one of these, and you already have a Dynamo. So it's way easier to use one of these than to repair a derailleur cable. So that's how I became an electronic gears convert for now. And however, that still leaves you with limitations that you will have to charge them eventually. For example, I do engineering, and even so, in my experience, I use a Shimano gear hub that I'll find with Di2 with electronic shifting, and it loses about 10% in every 3 hours. So in a 600 brevet, which takes me about 30 hours, I definitely have to stop and using the Saviour for about 15-30 minutes during a break. I have to charge the system. Regular derailleur system on my the new bike, other new bike, I have a Tegra Di2 derailleur system is a bit less power hungry, but even so, Paris, for example, is 1200 kilometers, takes me about 80 hours, which is about 260% battery. So you need 2.5 batteries to finish Paris. There's ultra distance, people ride a lot longer than this, and if you've ridden all day in the sun and you're tired, you really don't want to think whether you have the correct charger or whether you're gonna be able to charge it somewhere, be able to continue the next day and not be stuck at single speed. So this is the disadvantage number one and the biggest for everybody. Purely for batteries, range would always be a problem, and it has actually gotten worse because before you had one big battery to power everything. Nowadays you have something like this and you have multiple batteries that are much smaller, and things has gotten actually worse. But this is how it is. I'm gonna see how we can make the current system better. Even if you have bigger batteries that just take longer to charge, and Shimano currently with its own battery takes about 1.5 to 2 hours to charge to full, and if you put a bigger battery it takes correspondingly longer. And again, funky charger, nothing standard and all that, so this is a limitation. Third, I already mentioned this, that I find it like a missed opportunity to basically create it as a platform for pretty much using other things like connecting lights or chargers for your phone or for your GPS. So this is pretty much, I think it's a very big missed opportunity because this existed before, but again, leaves room for people like me to show how it can be done. Another limitation of the system, though we're getting a bit in the weeds of electronics here, it doesn't really have instant on. Like when Shimano's dead, you have to charge it for about 15 minutes before you can really use it, and this is kind of like a limitation of lithium-ion batteries. I mean, I know why there is no criticism, but again, if you want to make it as a platform, basically if you have left the bike sitting somewhere or the battery is completely dead, you want to be able to, as soon as it has power, either from Dynamo or from your USB charger, you want to be able to use it. And now it's time for the part that you've all come here. So this is the system, the prototype. Obviously it will be a bit smaller when it comes on the bike, but I'm going to wire everything up and we're going to flip the camera and I'll show you what it can do. So here we are on my bench with the system connected to one of my lights, and this is Di2 components I had lying around. And a bit of an aside here, actually one of the things that I really like about the system, and actually I have won awards for this. I have won the special award for my second place Concorde machine bikes in 2023. I'll have a separate video on the bike because it deserves its own video. One of the prizes there is the polyvalence, and basically you had to make a bike that was not just a bike for Paris but can be transformed into other things. This is where Di2 really comes into its own in the ecosystem, at least the wired system, the 11-speed system. As you can see here, this is random components that I have lying around. So I have, I think this is the oldest one, it's an XTR rear derailleur. This is a Gravo shifter, this is a time trial bar end shifter. This is a mountain bike display, well, a city bike, but you know, don't tell mountain bikers because they're gonna get upset. And pretty much anything out of a certain minimum equipment list is compatible with each other. The only thing is, for example, you cannot use mountain bike derailleurs. You cannot mix road and mountain bike derailleurs, but that's where the Gravo ones come. So this is the newest one. This is quite old. This is quite old as well. But they all fit. For example, I can put a Tegra here, and my bike that I ride, it has bar end shifters. It has GRX and it has a gear hub, and it all works, and I find it super nice into this ecosystem. This is kind of like, I mean, as you can probably see, I'm wearing an Apple Watch. Even the biggest Apple haters, they are really impressed of the Apple ecosystem, and this is actually really nice. What I really liked about Shimano, like I said, because of this I have actually won awards using it. I find it a missed opportunity that they did not integrate it further. I have gone actually backwards. They had industry-leading battery life, and now they don't, because they have small batteries, and they voluntarily actually did this.
You got in voluntarily?
And while I'm still ranting on this, so instead of one big battery, you have like 5, and half of them are not rechargeable. And every 2 years, no matter what you do, basically you have to throw them out, and this generates ridiculous amounts of waste, as you can imagine. for something that's a hobby. So I think actually where they were going with the 12 speed, where they made the shifters both wired and wireless, they integrated the Bluetooth and everything, was the correct way to go. So still keep it wired, because even though they say it's wireless, the system still has wired ports. It takes wired for maintenance and it takes wired for updates. So I don't understand why they went there, but in any case, leave something for people like me, because there's nothing wrong with the system. There's not really keeping me out of it, so we can make it better, and this is what I'm doing now. So like I said, we have everything wired up here. It's not powered yet. The light is powered, so let me show you the system in it, and the system is not connected to anything. So as you can see, the light powers on. Let me switch it off so it doesn't do the camera. And this is a bit where I had some of the challenges. So there's two ways to mount a battery to the Shimano Di2 system. The first one, and the one that it still keeps supporting, at least for this system, was the external battery like this. And or the internal one like this one. Obviously I open it, I'll show you why I opened it. You have the external battery. All I have to do is connect it to my system, and you're gonna see it is gonna wake up. And as you can see, the system wakes up. The battery is almost charged. Like as I mentioned, everything works together. As you see that I shift the derailleur with the shifter. Everything like this. I can turn the lights on. There you go, and it's all powered from the same system. And again, as you see, the gears work. The battery is pretty charged, as you can see. So with the external mount, it works like a charm. You just plug it in like you would expect. Instead of the Shimano battery, use my system with its own battery, and it works like a charm. So let's plug in the Dynamo now. There you go, the LEDs go on, so the system is charging. As you can see, the light is on. I can put the high beam, change the dimming. Basically, it all works, and the gears still work. It's all fine. It has the what I call shadow saw, so basically it always prioritizes this part here. So if it doesn't have enough to charge the batteries, it is always going to give power. If it has more than enough, it's going to recharge them. And this is why it's compatible with both 3-watt dynamos and with the newer, more powerful dynamos that I'm developing with Son or Schmidt, which is called Project X. Because of this, the system can take a lot more power than is currently available with normal dynamos. So as you can see, I'm in the end, so I shift, no problem there. Like I said, this is not the most elegant solution, but it works right away. So now let me show you what happens when I plug in the internal battery. I plugged in the internal battery module, and while I remove the internal batteries, as you can see, open it up. Don't try this at home. So I did that, and instead of basically what I'm doing is, because as I said, there's a minimum equipment list, so you need this part, actually the electronics part. You need this for your system to function. So let me show you what I discovered. So I'm gonna connect my system. Remember how it woke up with the external battery mount? So I'm not gonna, now I'm gonna connect it to my system. As you see, nothing happens. And this is a bit of a limitation, and I still don't understand why it happened. I'm doing this by myself. I don't have Shimano to tell me. But the way I found to resolve it is, actually I've had this happen to me twice on the 5 years I've owned Di2 bikes. And I think it's the Bluetooth. Basically I was doing something with the Bluetooth. Even though I disconnected it, the battery was dead the next day. So then you need the Shimano charger. So I have my Shimano charger plugged in off camera. The thing is, if you have the system, you will have the charger. So there's a charging port here. As you see, the system wakes up after I plugged it in, and the charger is giving me an error, but all it needed to do is wake up the system. I don't understand why it does that, but as you can see, now the system works, and it has the battery level of my system. And this is another plus. Basically, when this is connected to Dynamo and everything, you always are aware of what is going on with your system. So plug it into Dynamo and see what happens. So there you go, we plug it into Dynamo. Again, the lights work. For example, you can have a charger, or you can have something else which I'm going to show you. So as you can see, the gears work. And I wanted to show you that it works not just from Dynamo, but also from regular USB-C like this one. So let's plug it in. There you go. System's on. Lights are on. High beam. Gears. And it all charges, and all you see it in the indicator there. And another neat feature of the system is this is part of the USB-C protocol, that it can be bidirectional. Basically, for example, my phone here, you can use it to charge with the watch, and for example your AirPods, I think other phones do it as well. Basically you can use the batteries as your power bank, so you have a power bank, so you don't need a separate charger. And I'm going to show you what I mean. So basically all you need is a USB-C cable, and then you're going to plug it in, and it's going to work in reverse. So I have a power meter here just to show you. As you can see, the Di2 works. The lights work, so I'm gonna plug it in. There you go. It gives me 5 volts, and now let me show you what it's gonna do. It's gonna charge my phone. As you can see, so I'm gonna limit it to about 5 watts. I think I can go up to 7.5, but since the batteries are not that big, yeah, right now it's pulling about 6. I don't know if you can see the power meter there. I need 3 hands to show you. But basically it can work as a power bank. And as you can see, the Di2 works and the lights work. And you can, like I mentioned, this is a platform and integrate pretty much all the electronics on your bike, like lights, charging, or whatever you need for the way you ride. So as a conclusion, what am I going to do with this? Like I said, we'll integrate it into a bike, or we'll set a separate bike to do this. But before that, I'll probably do a prototype and wire it in my current bike. That's the reason why I changed bikes, one with external cable routing, but that's another story. And how I'm gonna do it, the system, like I mentioned, this is actually not so easy to find, but this is a plug and play, so probably gonna use this on a tandem, which I will also be building on this channel. It will be a Di2 tandem, so this, because the tandem I won't ride it that much, and this one has instant on, but it hasn't been ridden, and as soon as you plug in the system, it's gonna work. But for most bikes, I'm gonna use this one. Basically, I'm gonna replace this part over there. On this part, I don't know if you can see it. Basically, I'm gonna replace it with my electronics there. The battery is going to be there, and actually the USB port and all the charging bits are going to be somewhere around your cockpit, around the handlebars. Like I mentioned, the only limitation of this is that to wake it up, like once you connect it, if the batteries have been dead, you need the Shimano charger. But if you have this system, you already have the charger, so that's not really a problem. And this for my bikes, like I have 2 bikes with Di2. So that's my randonneur bike, version 1 of it, the one that I made in 2019 when I actually set out to do a Shimano Di2 Dynamo powered system. This one has Ultegra Di2, full Ultegra Di2. This is the bike that I want to be fully compatible and fully sustainable with Dynamo and Di2. Like I'll show you, I'll be rebuilding it, and not just rebuilding the components. I already have a set of aluminum tubes. I'll build it from scratch. Try to keep the weight the same, because this one is 9 kilograms, 9.1, fully equipped as you see it like this. So this is version 2. You probably have seen this if you follow me on Instagram. So it has the prototype Dynamo Di2 charger here, the version 1, and it has full Di2 with a fine gear hub. I wash it and everything. One will be rebuilt like I showed you, and the other one will probably have the prototype, but I'm not sure if people would be interested in actually purchasing this. But definitely want to pursue it for my bikes, because currently this battery is available. It's available Shimano, so I can buy it and modify it for you. Again, I don't know how Shimano would feel about this. Again, disclaimer, do everything at your own risk. But my system works and I'm pretty happy. It took me quite some time to figure it out, and again, I really don't know what Shimano did with all this and why it acts like it does, but I have a system that works and it's a platform. So I'm pretty happy about it, and of course I'll post more details on the channel or on social media of how this develops. And I'll probably, like I said, this is a platform, so I'm going to have various devices. I mean, currently this is a light, and you can use it directly to charge, but I'm probably going to have more powerful chargers, especially if you use the bigger cells. People that are not using Shimano Di2 actually have a similar system, which is going to be its own power bank, and everything that is compatible here, minus the Di2, would be compatible with that system, and that system would support USB power delivery, like a fast charge. This one, because I want to keep it compact, it will charge at a pretty normal rate. It won't charge in anything ridiculously fast. But subscribe, first of all, if you want to see what's going to happen with the system and what I will show with, in case you don't want to use a Shimano Di2, you don't have, and that kind of reason. And so basically this is how I improved the Shimano Di2 system. I made it how I think it a system on a bike should be, kind of like you have on e-bikes or in cars nowadays. That you have everything that you need. It's a shame that Shimano does not pursue this, because actually they've done this before, and now they're going a completely strange way with everything wireless, non-rechargeable batteries with smaller capacity. Okay, this is how I improved the Shimano Di2 system. I know some of you are skeptics, but for example, I have a Garmin Varia, which I'm not so impressed with the battery life for my use. I mean, obviously I use other rear lights, but if you have this system, you'll be able to use the e-bike version of the Radar, no problem. Again, this battery system, so you'll never have to worry about batteries, especially if you have a Dynamo. If not, there's only one battery to charge. This battery, again, the cells will be replaceable. This is a standard 1865 cells, and you can buy them pretty much anywhere in various qualities, various capacities. They're recyclable, they're widely available. This is how I think the system can be improved. So again, thank you for watching, and stick around for how this develops.